And we're pleased to be rejoined by business attorney Brian King, and I'm Neil Gordon with AugustaBusinessDaily.com. And by the way, Brian's a thought leader on our website, so if you ever want to learn some more information, you can certainly do that, or go to his website at businessattorneylaw.com. So years ago, when my brother was in the shoe store business at 17, he was a manager, and he said, Neil, if it wasn't for the people, we'd be great. But, employees just kind of drive the engine. And do you wish maybe employers would spend a little more time being careful on the front end?
Oh, of course. I mean, with most things, they should be careful on the front end and, call me first before they get into certain things. And, it's true with employees, dealing with employees, having employment agreements for your key employees is important. Having certain provisions in there about, what their duties are, what their compensation is, whether there's a notice required before they terminate, or something that talks about what benefits they're going to have, whether it's health insurance or 401k plans and that sort of thing, and also having the employee agree to keep things confidential. They're going to learn a lot of confidential information about your business that you don't want exposed to the public. And so you can have provisions in the employment agreement that limit their ability to disclose certain things. And also, having a non-solicit provision is important because, let's say that they're terminated for whatever reason, and you don't want them to solicit your customers to start their own business, or
Right.
to solicit your employees to come work with them instead. Another similar type provision, but more can be more detailed, is a non-compete agreement. So having the employee sign that non-compete, so stating that they can't, for a period of time, compete with your business if they leave. And then also in the employment agreement, you'll have a jurisdiction provision that says where you're going to litigate if the employee moves to another state, but you're still going to be litigating in the area where they're working.
So just to back up just a little bit, for those who are not under an employment agreement, I guess it's right to work.
Yes, that's right. The Georgia and South Carolina are both right to work states, and meaning that they're not going to be joining a union and that sort of thing, but they're also at will employees, and meaning that they can quit at any time, or you can fire them at any time, and as long as you're not firing them for an unlawful reason, like some sort of discrimination based on race, or then yes, it's at will employment.
Do you recommend still doing the old first warning, second warning, goodbye, or because it's right to work, if you just don't feel someone's working out, you just let them go?
Well, of course you can legally do that, but it's best to have policies and procedures in place. So if you're having an issue with someone, they're not performing as well as that you think they should, or their performance has changed over time and you're not liking what they're doing, it would be best to write them up, and basically what I mean by that is, have something in writing that you go over with them, and you tell them about their performance and why it's not acceptable, and what steps you want them to take to improve, and give them an opportunity to do that. And then if they don't, then you can terminate them, and you've got everything in writing, and then you're firing them for a particular business reason, and it makes allows you to have protection against any claim that you were firing them for an unlawful reason.
Another way, I guess, to be protective, I remember when I actually worked for a few of the TV stations, they handed me this thick book, and they even had people come in and do training on different things. Do people still do handbooks?
Yes. I've got several businesses that I represent where they have several employees, and I drafted, handbooks for them so that they've got their policies and procedures in writing that the employee is signing off on, saying that they have received and read the handbook and that they're going to abide by those policies. And, policies such as, sexual harassment policies, and if they are experiencing sexual harassment, who are they supposed to go to in the company? Is it their supervisor, that sort of thing, or the owner of the company? And the letting the employees know where they can go if they do have those issues, so that the company has a way of dealing with certain things that come up. The handbook can go over things like paid time off. It can talk about procedures for customer service, things that are specific to that business or industry that the employee needs to do in order to be successful in the business. That's something good too. So yeah, I do prepare handbooks for my clients, and I do recommend them if you've got several employees.
Has there been a COVID clause in any of these handbooks, or have any of your clients asked about that?
Recently, there has been, because of COVID being such a big issue. It is good to have that in your handbooks now, to let employees know how you're going to deal with COVID situations, whether it be, them being sick and needing to quarantine for so many days, or, giving notice to their, to the employer about their situation, and then, also you're protecting other employees at your business, because you don't want, if your whole staff got COVID, which has happened to some businesses where the business had to basically shut down, or, and because of the infection, but yeah, so you're right. That is something that should be in handbooks now.
Wow. What's the best way for you to learn about a company? Do you sit down with them for a period of time, or how do you engage?
I do. I do like to meet with the business owner, whether, it can be by phone. That's totally fine. But to get an idea about what their business does, what their goals are for the business. And that helps me a lot in terms of planning, for helping the business plan and how we're going to set things up. So.
Excellent. And maybe a good way for you to get started, if you even just have a question related to employment agreements, non-compete clauses, handbooks, policies, procedures, please just go to Brian's website. It's businessattorneylaw.com, businessattorneylaw.com. Brian, thank you again for the knowledge. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.